cannot do does not exist. What God cannot do does not exist. We dey pray, e dey show. Pastor Jerry, on the 17th of June, I was at the gym when I got a call from my neighbor that my son is having a seizure, that I should start rushing home. And I was like, seizure from where to where? I left a boy hale and hardy. Nothing was wrong with him. And all of a sudden, you are calling me to tell me that my son has a seizure. And I panicked and I rushed home. I saw them coming out from the house with my son. I joined them in the car. And I saw my son. He was still like, he was not himself. I was like, what's going on? I got to the hospital and I didn't understand what the doctors were saying, because at that point, I was not reasoning well. I was like, what happened? What did you say happened? I took my boy home after the whole treatment and all. I took my boy home. And next thing, the seizure started again. And I rushed back to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, the doctor told us take our boy home. We should just observe him and all. When we got home, like 2 hours after the first seizure, he had another one. This one lasted for about 10 minutes. We got to the hospital. We rushed back to the hospital and they were treating him again, Pastor Jerry, for the same thing we just rushed to the hospital for. They were treating him again for it. And he had the third seizure in the space of 6 hours. As soon as they admitted him, immediately the crisis started. This one lasted for close to 20 minutes, Pastor Jerry, that I had to leave at some point. I couldn't watch him. I had to walk out. And while he was in the hospital, I remember trying to play "Oh Lord, show me mercy." But for some reason, I would just be like, my own case, God will not remember me, because I feel God remembers some special people, not people like me. They told us to take it from scans and scans. When we were doing MRI, the MRI scan wasn't funny. It was the MRI scan that opened my eye to what I was really dealing with. They had to put him to sleep, but he woke up. So when they put to sleep, it was not up to 5 minutes. He woke up. And the way he was behaving during the MRI, it was really bad. That I told my husband, I can't come here for this MRI scan again. I can't put my son through this. It's not even up to a year when all this started. He was about to celebrate his 1 year birthday when the devil came with all this from nowhere. Looking at the test results, that is very bad. That he has to be on drugs for the rest of his life. That what they are seeing is really bad. June, that day I decided that, okay, let me join. Just maybe Eroy will see me. He will hear me, how tired, because I was crying and begging him to listen to me, to hear my cry, to feel my pain. Like, is he sleeping? I need a word from him. I need my son to be healed. Eroy saw me. I thought maybe, like, Pastor Jerry would never mention my case. Maybe that thing you put in your ear, I've forgotten the name, this thing you put in your ear, maybe it's a way of people telling you people's cases, or you will read it and they will tell you. I never believed that my own case will be mentioned. The moment you mentioned it, I had this conviction that that was my word. Just a day of joining back, it's like God had waited for me to join back. Just that morning of joining back, 36 minutes into the prayer, you mentioned my case.
The Lord is removing every seizure. The Lord is removing every seizure. The last time you saw it is the last you will ever see it.
And I claimed it immediately. I typed. I said, it is me. Pastor Jerry, seizure never came back again. It never. I was waiting that, okay, let me see if it will show its face. Father, he kept getting better and better. He kept improving. Someone that was dull, he kept improving. He became lively. Someone that was acting like he was acting so dull, but he said saying ABCs, 1, 2, 3, learning. And people were like, this boy is fast, oh, he's bright, he's sharp. And I was like, Roy has done it. Pastor Jerry, I settled my husband. Let us go for a repeat scan in the hospital. After 3 months, we went for a repeat scan. The person taking the scan, he said that why are we coming for scan? That we are here to just waste our money. That what we have done June, and we are just coming again for another scan. That people just want to waste your money. And I told him, I can't waste my money. He said, oh, you're one of those NSPPD people, Abby. What God cannot do does not exist. I said, yes, a proud one. Pastor Jerry, he made a mockery. He made me feel I should doubt what God wants to do in my life and the life of my son. As he was talking, I was looking at him, and at some point, I started telling him that you will be here and I will give my testimony. He said, so you stopped giving him your medication? I said yes. And he was laughing. He said, you're just playing with your boy's life. Better take him to the hospital and go and give him drugs. That don't you know I'm damaging his brain. I said, there's nothing wrong with his brain. My son is fine. When he sent the report to me, Pastor Jerry, he used to ask, how will you shout? How will you scream? How will you celebrate a Roy? When you get that testimony, Pastor Jerry, I shouted, I screamed, I cried. When I got my testimony, I cried tears of joy, because what they saw before, they could say no more. They said he had epileptic form activity. They said he spikes, so many bad negative reports. What they saw before, they could say no more. I want to say, the God that you serve is a mighty God. The God of Pastor Jerry Eze is a mighty God. If not for you, my son will still be on medication till this day. If not for your word of confirmation, the day you spoke was the day the seizure stopped. If not for you, only God knows what would have become of my son. May the oil on your head never run dry.